Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile 2. In this episode, we got some big upgrades. Mentioned that the previous vid, well, in the comments in the previous vid, that I would do the jewels next, in the next vid. Let's just start it off with that. So the tree, replaced my jewels, and so some of the main mods I was going for were minion attack and cast speed, minion accuracy rating, and then some bonus stuff that I went for was a little bit of minion chaos res. I needed like 12, so we got a 13. Some minion ele res, some minion damage, minion ele res, recoup. You can also get... Oh, there was a few other things. There's some more minion damage. There was also minion physical damage reduction, minion AoE, and then yeah, the minion ele res, and there's technically minion crit hit chance and minion crit damage bonus, like these. So you can also roll these things on jewels. So then, yeah, but the main thing is I did accuracy and attack and cast speed, and then, like I said, the extra stuff. Okay, so why accuracy? Well, the only accuracy you can get from the tree is this little area, and then taking your dex and adding it to your minions. So then you can't really get more. You could run precision on your aura, but then it only works on you. Okay, so I'll also show the link after. I have a 6 link now on the Arsonist, but when you go into here, you can see that my Arsonists are at 4,000 accuracy, and then my Hellhound is at 4,400. So I don't know what amount you actually need, because well, you can make enemies evasive. There's mods on the map to get evasive. There's the monster modifiers, archnem mods, and then all that shit. But the other thing is they changed accuracy. So player and minion attacks incur an accuracy penalty based on the distance from the origin of the damage to the target, with no penalty for targets within 2 meters and up to 90% less accuracy for targets further than 12 meters. 12 meters is like 2 screens, so it's not really going to be 2 screens, but I would assume that there's some less accuracy happening now. So where in the past we would like 3,000 to 7,000 accuracy, I don't know how much you need now, but I noticed that when I hit 3,000, so similar to old PoE 1, it started to feel really good, like way better than what I had early. And now numbers above 3K have felt really good. Like, I'm accurate, and now I'm looking for targets that are more evasive. Like, I've noticed potentially that bosses were more evasive, which makes sense, and maybe like when you stack up the archnem mods, they just get evasion, or it's because of hitting the higher map tier. Now the monster level's higher, and it's also getting like the +1, +2. There's also, I think Beyond might have more evasion than normal monsters. But yeah. So then, yeah, that's the accuracy. I got a poop ton. Like I say, I wanted this on every jewel, and attack speed. The other reason for attack speed is because I'm pretty sure the only sources were like this attack speed and like this attack speed, and it's very rare on the tree. You get tons of minion damage. We're up to like 300, but then we barely had any attack speed. So yeah, the attack speed has a huge impact, and then also feels really good because we even took the martial tempo really early to get that extra attack speed, and this is more, so it'll scale with the increase really well. But yeah, so my new Arsonist link, we have Scattershot, that's the GMP multi, Fire Infusion, Martial Tempo, Fire Penetration I added. It's because most of its damage is fire. I even had the damage as extra fire, so I added extra fire, so it made it so that the fire pen was even better, right? And the way this works is, let's say the monster has 75 resistance, you're gonna pen 30, so now it'll treat it like it has 45 resistance instead of 75. So your damage would be 55% instead of 25%. So technically, if a monster had really high fire res, this could be like double damage, even though it's only 30% pen. It can feel like double damage, but only of the fire, and also if the monster has like no res, this is just a 30% more on the fire, but then also it's only of the fire, so this is like 22%, but still this is even at 22%, so like nearly the worst case scenario. The other case would be negative resistance, and then I guess it's even less effective, but 22 is around the same as this 25. It's pretty good. And then I added magnified effect, so AoE, because we do the arsonist with the bombs, so then the AoE overlap. This helps for the consistency and the clear and actually hitting mobs. And I've also noticed a small extra thing of why this would be useful. When your dudes are hitting a target that's running, they just miss because the target runs too fast, and then the bomb hits behind the target. So now with the extra AoE, there's a higher chance that the bombs actually hit with the big AoE. So this feels really good. And I haven't changed the Hound link, but just because I haven't showed it since the video 1269, I'll show it again. Minion Mastery +1, Fire Mastery +1, Lacerate, bleeding is insane, and then the Feeding Frenzy. So technically you could run Feeding Frenzy on your Skeletal Arsonist instead of like the AoE or the pen, but I feel like this setup is really good because the Hound is still way tankier, 20k life versus 9k. So that 20% more is fine because he's just so tanky. And then it makes 30% more of the burn and his attacks and the bleed. Like, it's a really, really, really good support gem for him. And it's actually more damage than, like, the normal ones. 25, 25, 22. So this is a really high damage support gem. It just comes with that downside, which is nullified on our big Infernal Hound. Yeah, so I really wanted to cover the jewels of how I actually why I built it with the accuracy and the attack speed. This ends up being so awesome. I realized when I started building this that these jewel sockets are basically like a deli tree because the jewel is part of your tree. And so another thing, let me just show you the pathing. You come up, you grab this, well, I started with this one. You're just pathing through. You're here for minion stuff. It's a 1-point jewel socket. You're able to use this for just basically a single mod on a jewel that's actually good. Pathing here, again, I had a 1-point jewel socket, so I just had that attack speed jewel. It wasn't even bad. Like, that's still good because you get stuff that you needed. And like it was just in your pathing, so it's kind of like our own cluster jewel. And then same thing here, it's just part of the pathing. Now this is where you get to here. It's 1 extra jewel for a jewel socket. It's like, well, if it's a 1 mod, it's still good, but if it's a 3 mod, this is insane. Okay. Then up here, it takes 3 points for a jewel socket. So this is where I was like, okay, if I have a good jewel, that's actually decent because you also get the intelligence, the pathing, you get the extra attributes. Same thing here, 3-point jewel socket, really good jewel. End of mods I can't really get, so it ends up being really good, and then you could technically do this pathing instead, and now you're up here. If this benefits you in some way, which technically I might do this, spend the 3 points and convert my energy shield to mana, because I have this 234 energy shield, and wouldn't it be nice if it was mana? I don't know, just small thought. Like, instead of taking 5 points through here, now I'm closer, so taking this jewel socket was sick. It was just a 3-point jewel socket, and I'm going to do the same thing here with a 3-point jewel socket. I'm going to trade this guy and then D&D. It's super sick though how the tree has the incorporated of the jewel sockets, and it makes the jewels super like basically necessary to have decent jewels, and it's actually pretty hard to craft them yourself with just like trans aug regal, because you have to this guy actually can't find my stash. Because you'd have to RNG into RNG into RNG. You can't alteration spam the magics. You can't, like, Yeah, the only other way would be like you regal it, make it rare, and then you gamble a chaos orb, but they're kind of rare now, and you have a chance just to brick it, but it removing a mod and adding a mod, it'd be like super insane to do. So yeah, getting jewels ends up being pretty difficult. I'll end up showing how I recommend to how I did it basically to do jewels for everyone watching. Call that PoE 2 trade. Perfect. So here's trade. I did a new one. You have to go to trade 2, not trade 1. It's still PoE.com, but now it's trade 2. Okay. And then I did this. So you want not corrupted. I did magic, and I did two of these mods. So you could see that you could find a bunch of results, and then you could regal these. You also don't need these numbers. You could do like the low rolls, but this is like the mid roll. This is like if they're mid tier. And then 2 mod to get like a prefix and a suffix as magic. And then you could regal these and exalt them. Otherwise, if you didn't do magic, and let's say you tried to do, yeah, just 2 of these mods. Yeah, they're about the same price, 1x. And then when you try to do multiple mods, is when you start to get more expensive. 9, 10, and there's no 4s. The last 4 I saw, there was like it was 200x or something. But basically none, and it's because I also have the like min rolls on these things pretty high. Then like I say, you could search 2 and do magic, and then just regal these. And then you could get some extra minion LE res, which now that I showed that, we're good. But I wanted to show the minion LE res on the minions. It doesn't show the overcap, which is annoying, but basically I'm 1 over on the chaos because of that 13 chaos res jewel. So 1 chaos res jewel is pretty good. And then for resistances, the Hellhound, Infernal Hound, and the Skeletal Arsonist have extra fire res base built in. So you don't really need fire res. You mostly would need cold and lightning. So when you get that mod all LE res, it's actually really basically just cold and lightning from our build because we already have extra res on the fire. So it's mostly cold and lightning. So if you needed the extra resistance, you could also technically be taking like just these cold and lightnings. They end up not looking so bad when you just think about the minion needing only 2 resistances, because then this all LE res actually isn't all LE res. It's mostly just cold and lightning. And then there's also technically the cold and lightning over here, which ends up being basically 10 if you averaged it for the 2. It's 10 per point, which it ends up being like actually pretty solid when this was 8. And it's only because of the fact that we use these specific minions that have extra fire resistance. And you could see it by taking off the fire res from the tree, but yeah. So that's just a warning of like, you don't need that much minion LE res from the jewels. It's mostly, like I said, about the accuracy and the attack speed, and potentially even just normal minion damage is super nice, and like the small amount of chaos res. The physical damage reduction, if you could get it, would be pretty good. It's just seems to be hard to find. And you could also get like the AoE, because we've been using AoE, but there's limited amounts on the tree technically. And like a 10% AoE on a jewel sounds sick when you're taking 10 on the tree, right? Yeah. So that's the jewels. All cut up there. And then tree pathing, I've been changing it now with the leveling up to take the extra jewel sockets. I'm 88. Infernalist is sick. I still haven't done my 3rd lab. Some people have been asking, yo, what's your ascendancy? Bro, I just got 2, man. Hellhound, which automatically you know about the hound because you can see it. You know what ascendancy I am. I don't even have to answer people. The only one you wouldn't know off of the bat, just looking at my character when I'm playing, is the Altered Flesh. But technically I could show it through the character stats page, which is pretty sick. But yeah, that's I updated my new 6 link. Yeah, so this was a greater jeweler's orb and a perfect. So I found a perfect jeweler's orb to get the 6 link, but I never found the greater, so I bought the greater for like 18x and the perfect was like 58x. Let's see if it's changed. The lesser, I mean the greater already changed in price to 59, 58. It's the same price. Holy. So yeah, 70x basically to go to a 6 link. And then the damage, they're saying 2100 per use on average. So that's like the middle. And then we have the Giga AoE on it and the Fire Pen and then the Giga accuracy. And oh my god, it's sick, dude. It's so sick. Kind of want to show a little bit of it, but then I'd be committed to a map. Let's show a little bit. Oh, there's also my Atlas. Oh yeah, my Atlas. We grabbed the increased explicit on the waystones for each mod affecting it. The quantity of waystones over here. I also grabbed. I already had the local knowledge. I grabbed enigmatic intensification, but I might take this off because I'm noticing that it's actually the towers are harder. The layout is annoying, and you actually have to have precursors to use the towers, which I do have precursors because I figured out that you basically get the precursor tablets from doing League mechanics. You get irradiated from ritual, you get ritual from ritual, and then yeah, breach from breach, etc. Yeah, I think you actually get more of the League mechanics from doing the League mechanics, and then it starts snowballing, and that's where I did map boss, and I started getting the map boss points, and now we have map boss difficulty, quantity of items drop from the map boss, and 25% chance to drop a waystone, which I've actually got. I killed a map boss and got 3 T15 waystones, and then the boss had, there was 2 of them, because apparently map boss difficulty says difficulty causes monsters to have increased damage in life, but then it also improves the items they drop. Certain bosses with increased difficulty will gain new abilities and begin to drop exclusive items. Difficulty above 4 has no additional effect. So my goal is 4, we're at 2. We're halfway there, and one of the bosses doubled. It gets like unique bosses are duplicated. There's 2 of them, and I got 6 T15 waystones from one map. It's like from one boss. It was like, holy dude, that's insane. But then yeah, I got all my Atlas skill points from doing the tier 15s. And like I say, I might change this based on not using enough towers, but at the same time, it's also pretty good. And this is where I also thought about taking out some of this and then putting like the rarity in quant and putting it into an actual League mechanic, and then getting more of the precursor tablets and juicing more of the League mechanic. But yeah, let me show let me show a bit of this. Oh, I need an actual map. I like doing decent maps. I could show a tower, because I had these 2 towers. We'll do a tower, because they're actually pretty annoying because of the small pathway for the doors. And then they have these ice dudes that shoot this, like, it's the same thing as the shrine. Is it like Orb of Winter, Eye of Winter, but it shoots out this like ice projectile that shoots out a ton of ice projectiles, and it's crazy. Yeah, look at my mana. Mind over matter is insane. People been asking like, oh, how does it not take your life? Like, how are you not taking damage? You're mind over matter now, so it does your mana. We're up to 8 dudes. I have a vitality on for some of my spirit. That's the really annoying ice ability. Just chunks you. If you didn't, I didn't have cold res early either, so it was super crazy. This burning ground really hurts when you have no regen. That's crazy. I also, I'm just dead. This is the burning ground. Dude, that's actually, there was another map where it just had, Dude, my XP, I was just trying to show... Oh, it's over, man. That was the map mod. I didn't think that was bad. Well, we learned something just now. There was another map where they just kept putting purple ground, and it was melting me through my battery regen and my life regen. It's like, I really wish I had actual regen, like 300, instead of 50, 40. Like, man, I wish I had hundreds of regen. That's how it feels right now. Like, that thing melted me, and the only way through it was to flask, and the flask I only get through kills, and I can't kill because I'm cut off by... Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, rip my XPs, and I'll see you guys in today's stream. Bye. Rip my map, dude. My T15. No. Oh my god, this was not planned. I didn't... What? I was just showing... Oh my god. But did you see the AoE on the Arsonist?